Hi guys, it's Kat. Today I'll be showing you how I made this 1 to 12 scale miniature clear bubble umbrella. It has a real metal wire frame and uses clear plastic, so it's actually waterproof. It's so cute and perfect for outdoor dollhouse photography. This is completely handmade, so once you're done, you'll have a one-of-a-kind piece. Before we get started with the tutorial, let me tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Life Makeover. Life Makeover is a role-playing game that simulates home construction, home decor, social play, and customizing character models. The mobile version of this game was launched in May, and because they have gained such a loyal fanbase, they have expanded the game to PC. The official launch occurred on November 15, so now you can download the game for free from Steam or Epic. You can also download the game directly from the Life Makeover website. This PC version has improved resolution, frame rate, depth of field, and so much more to give you that unparalleled gameplay experience. It not only looks better, but also plays better, as it allows you to make use of your mouse wheel and keyboard shortcuts for a seamless experience. The game designers made sure to adapt this game to optimize gameplay for PC. This is such a fun game and allows you to push the limits of your creativity. I love playing around with the home decor. The high-definition visuals make decorating so much fun and satisfying. You can also play with getting your characters to look how you want by customizing the makeup and a large variety of outfits. Since this is a social simulation game, players are able to interact with one another and even visit each other's homes. If you're someone who enjoys mixing it up, you can play it on your PC at home and then pick it up right where you left off on your mobile. This cross-platform play allows you to continue without missing a beat. If you're someone who enjoys social simulation games and also loves home decor, Life Makeover is a great game for you. The umbrella I'm making in today's video is inspired by the fun aesthetic of the game. There's a serene, sweet charm to the visuals, and I wanted to replicate that in a miniature. Now let's get started with our tutorial. The first thing you need to build this miniature umbrella is some wire. Here I'm using 18 gauge wire. It's pretty thick, so I'm using my metal shears to cut it. Then I grab a round container that has a diameter of 3¼ inches. I wrap wire around the container several times. Then I use a Sharpie to mark a line straight down the wires. Remove the wire from the container and cut it at all the points that we made a mark. As you can see, this cuts the wire into circle segments. It's my favorite way of making perfectly sized circles. Now we have a few options to build the wire frame. You can use a soldering iron to melt solder and connect the metal joints. This is a great method for a strong hold if you're familiar with soldering. If that's a little too hardcore, you can also use UV resin. Just put resin on the ends that you want to connect, push them together, and cure with the UV lights. At this point, I felt like the wire that I was using was just too thick to look realistic for the scale of the umbrella. So I switched over to 24 gauge beading wire. I followed the same steps of wrapping the wire all around the container and making circle rings. One important thing to do if you're using resin is to sand the edges of your wire first. This creates some texture and grip for the resin to stick to. If you're not using resin, you can also use an epoxy such as JB Weld for a stronger bond. I connect one side first, and then the other. Do this 2 more times to make this globe shape. I add some resin to the opposite side of the globe too to make sure the wires stay in place. As you may have guessed, this globe can create 2 umbrellas. I cut all the wires at the halfway mark to split this globe into 2. The next step is to close the umbrella sections. For that, I'm using this thin fishing wire. It's a clear, thin plastic thread. I use UV resin to add it along the bottom section and close off those triangular areas. So you can skip this step, but I just like the effect that it adds on the umbrella. This just gives me more surface area to attach the clear plastic sheets. For that, I'm using this window insulating shrink wrap. You can use any clear plastic that you have. Even thicker clear plastic would work. Another great option is a clear shower curtain liner. I cut the plastic into long triangles and drape them over each section. Here I'm using more gel resin to attach them, but Eileen's tacky glue is another great option. Just add your adhesive along all the edges and place your wrap on. Once that's completely dry, trim away the excess plastic with a super sharp utility knife. Keep going all the way around the umbrella. This is the most time-consuming part. Next, we need to add the end tip. I'll be using the thick wire that I showed you in the beginning for that. Snip off a 1/2 inch piece. I use more resin to attach it to the top center of the umbrella. Paint the tip black. Using that same wire, I bend one side into a round loop for the handle. Cut off the excess. Then attach this handle to the center underside of our umbrella. Once that's done, I go ahead and paint this handle area with some black gel polish. You can also use paints. The gel just thickens the handles and also creates a super glossy finish. We're nearly done, but I can't forget about the tiny details. I cut 8 pieces from the same thin beading wire. They're each 3/4 of an inch in length. I attach them inside of the frame, making sure to connect one end to the outer frame and the other to the handle shaft. Again, I'm using resin to attach them. Do this all around the shaft so you have 8 of these angle supports. This additional step gives the miniatures more realism than if we left it off. And that's it. This miniature bubble umbrella is all done. This was my first time making an umbrella and I'm so happy with how it turned out. I hope you found this video helpful and let me know what other minis you want to see. I'll see you next time. Bye.